State Building was built very quickly. It was erected very quickly from 1930 to 1931, 14 months. That is a very fast erection, made doubly impressive when we consider that this is less than a year after the stock market crash of 1929, when the Great Depression was in full swing. In spite of this achievement, the Empire State Building did suffer from the Depression, as there were many businesses that could not and did not take office space in the building. It went largely unused for quite some time. One New York newspaper went so far as to nickname it the Empty State Building, and they would have gone bankrupt. Then in 1933, an interesting thing happened. A gentleman named Marion C. Cooper made a little movie called King Kong. When the world saw King Kong take foray up the side of the Empire State Building, they got curious. The owners opened up their 86th floor observation deck and charged money for it, and that saved the building from bankruptcy until the office space became self-sufficient some 20 years later. So the case can be made that King Kong rescued the Empire State Building. Now, King Kong is not the only animal in the movies to make it to the top of the Empire State Building. There was another, and I will give you a hint. He's green. No, the Hulk was a human being, not an animal. Very good guess, very good guess. No, Godzilla was as tall as the Empire State Building, but didn't actually go up to the top. That's two very good guesses, two very good guesses. I thought I heard a third one over here. My friends, you were all forgetting Kermit the Frog. In The Muppets Take Manhattan, Kermit the Frog makes it to the top of the Empire State Building. And he'll tell you, it's not easy being green.
It's not that easy being green. Having to live each day in the color of the leaves. When you think it would be nicer in red or yellow or gold, something much more colorful like that. That's pretty dangerous building a road in the middle of the street. If frogs couldn't hop, I'd have been gone with the swing.
Okay, no more of that. Ladies and gentlemen, something very important to remember. This is my day job. Okay, on our left as we turn around, we're across the river here, we have in the distance a beautiful view of the lovely sweep of the Verrazano Bridge, connecting Brooklyn to Staten Island. The Verrazano Bridge is the longest suspension bridge in the U.S., and it is the 9th longest in the world. What does it mean to be the 9th longest suspension bridge in the world? Think of it this way. The towers of the Verrazano Bridge are not perfectly parallel. They are just a couple of inches off parallel in order to accommodate the curvature of the Earth. Now, the bridge is named after Giovanni de Verrazzano, the great Italian explorer, the first European to sail through the Narrows that now bear his name. Very, very sadly, Verrazzano came to a horribly bad end. After leaving this area, he went south towards Florida and the Caribbean. And in the course of his explorations, Verrazzano was captured, killed, and eaten by a tribe of cannibals. So Verrazzano was the first person to introduce North America to Italian food. Okay, that was bad even for me. That is what we call leading you down the garden path. But the story is 100% true. Okay, just coming into view now on our left in the middle of the downtown skyline. Tall tower, bright green spire, brightest shade of green on the skyline, number 40 Wall Street. 40 Wall Street has the dubious distinction of having been tallest building in the world for the shortest amount of time. It was the tallest building in the world for 1 week. It was being built at the same time as the Chrysler Building in Midtown. It's 1929. It's the middle of the skyscraper race. And Everyone wanted the tallest building in the world. That was a big to-do. 40 Wall, on our left, won the race when they finished their spire. But by that time, the architect of the Chrysler Building had found out how tall 40 Wall was going to be. So he designed the spire and the needle of his building, which were not part of its original design. You'd never know that to look at it today. It certainly doesn't look like an afterthought. He did it specifically to win the skyscraper race and designed it in such a way where the needle could be erected in 2 days by being pushed up from inside the spire. So the Chrysler Building took the title for tallest building in the world away from 40 Wall, held it for a year, and then 40 Wall suffered the, it was unhorsed by the Empire State Building, so poor 40 Wall suffered the biggest in architectural history. And that is why 40 Wall Street is my favorite building in New York. 40 Wall started out as the Bank of Manhattan building. Today it is one of the many buildings in New York owned by the popular real estate mogul Donald Trump. Trump's not in town right now, though. He's in Europe awaiting the birth of his next wife. That's how I redeem myself for the Verrazano routine. On our right, we have Jersey City, New Jersey. The dominant building on the Jersey City skyline is Goldman Sachs. At 42 stories, Goldman Sachs is the tallest building in the state of New Jersey. I say, do I have anyone from New Jersey on board today? Excellent. We're very glad to have you. We'll go slower for you. See, he saw that coming. Now, that's how New Yorkers and New Jerseyans are with each other. We give each other a hard time about pretty much everything, actually. I think it has something to do with the fact that the New York Giants and the New York Jets both play in New Jersey. We New Yorkers never got over this. I will give the devil his due, though. One thing that blooms and flowers very nicely in the Garden State is education. New Jersey is the home of Drew University, which hosts the New Jersey Shakespeare Festival. It's the home of Rutgers University, where the great poet John Chardy taught for many years. And, of course, the great Ivy League University, Princeton, where Albert Einstein was on faculty. So even as a disgruntled New Yorker, I will happily tip my hat to New Jersey for excellent education. In front of us on the right, on the edge of Liberty State Park, New Jersey, this lovely little red brick building with the steep pitch roof used to be a railway station. No longer used for rail, today it's a ferry boat terminal. Tour boats from New Jersey heading out to Liberty and Ellis Islands leave from here, and that's very poetic because 100 years ago, when our ancestors were coming through Ellis Island, those who did not settle here in New York, those who went further into the country to join family and friends who were already here, this railway station was their gateway. This was all points west. Now, I know I have friends from Canada on board, right? Yes, indeed. So you will recognize the style of this station more than the Yanks will, because you think of the major American railway stations, like Union Station in Chicago or the Washington, D.C. station, or, of course, New York's own Grand Central Terminal. They tend to be these very, Beaux-Art, white limestone, white marble, grand archways, fluted columns, very boom, 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 boom type of architecture. When Canada, under Prime Minister MacDonald, built the famous railway system that you guys have, it was very important not to copy the neighbors to the south, to have your own architectural identity. So a real point was made of doing these much more French Revival, chateau-style stations. So on our right, we have an example of the elder nation emulating and paying due deference to the younger one.